Hello students, in this video lecture we'll be looking at program 12 of part B of your C programming lab. First let us look at the problem statement. The problem statement says develop a program to find the square root of a given number n and execute for all possible inputs with appropriate messages, and they have also given a note saying don't use the library function sqrt of n. So this is a very simple program and they are expecting that we should accept a value from the user, and whatever value we have accepted we have to return the square root. That is, we have to calculate the square root and return back the square root. And they have also mentioned not to use the sqrt function, which is an inbuilt function in math.h. So without using that, how we are going to calculate the square root is what we'll be looking in this program. The program is majorly divided into two parts. The first one is the main function and the second is the square root function. So pictorially, let us see what is main and what is square root. So main function, as we all know, is the driver function without which the program cannot execute. So what is main doing here is main is going to accept the value from the user, that is the number which has to be calculated for its square root, and that value should be passed to the square root function. So I'm not going to explain much about what are functions, as we have already done it in the previous programs. We have seen it in prime function, that is your programs 7. So no much detailed explanation will be giving with regards to the function. So this square root function will calculate the square root and give back the value, and whatever is the value returned, that value will be again printed in the main function. So this is how the flow of the program will be. So let us look at the program itself. So first we'll start with the main, because without main this program will not work. So first, in the main function we declare a variable n which will accept the value from the user, or which will store the value from the user. So to accept the value from the user, we give a message first saying enter the value of n, and then accept that value in the variable n with the help of a scanf statement. And again here ampersand n is compulsory because we need to know what is the address of n. So one thing what you all can do here is, here we have taken int n. So I have mentioned it as int n. If you all want, you all can convert this to float. That means instead of taking int, you all can also try a floating point value. I have taken a integer value. You all can try it for a floating point value. Now we have to do the function call, and let us look at how we are doing the function call. So we have given a statement here saying square root of %d is %f. So I have two format specifiers here. One is %d and the other is %f. So what are the values for it? So outside the double quotes and the comma, whatever are the variables, those will be for this format specifiers. So the first format specifier that we have taken is %d. So if you look at %d, the matching variable is n. So whatever is the value of n will be inserted here. And the next is %f. What is this %f? This %f will be the value that will be returned by the square root. So this square root is the function call that you are making here. So the square root function call is here, and the definition of the square root is here. So this is the function call which is present in the printf statement. So what happens? Let us take an example. Let us assume that n value is equal to 4. So here when I give a message to the user, enter the value of n, the user will enter 4. The n value will be 4, and this 4 is what I am passing as a parameter. That is the n value which is I'm passing to the square root function. So once the function call is made, n is your actual parameter, then float n here will become your formal parameter. So one thing you'll have to notice that this square root function is written before the function call. This is the function call, and this is the complete definition or the body of the function. So in this case it will not give you an error, but in case if you are going to write this square root function after the main, then you will have to do what is known as function prototyping. So please keep in mind that if you are changing the flow, if you are writing the main first and then the square root function, then there should be a function prototyping. How is function prototyping done? The same line followed by a semi-comma before the body will make it the function prototyping. So here there is no need because directly the function body is first and then we have the function call. So from the call, the directly the cursor will move to this point, and here you all can see that we are returning a floating point value, and we are also accepting a floating point value. So now here in this function we are using three major variables, x, y and e. So what we are doing is we are taking the n value equal to x, and we are taking initializing the y value equal to 1, and e is the accuracy. So I'll tell you all what is the accuracy. Here what we are doing is we are taking x equal to n, as I told you. Now x value will keep on decreasing and y value will keep on increasing, and it will keep on doing these calculations till the point that accuracy or e value will become less. So what we are doing is this xv is what is the square root that we are calculating, and y is the approximate value. So the accuracy is what we are focusing on. So what is accuracy? Let us say that we have taken the value of n equal to 4, and we all know what is the square root of 4. Again, I have taken a very small example. Why? Because I wanted to show you all manually how the calculations are done. So I have taken a smaller example. You all can take a very big number as well. So if I take the n value as 4, then we know that square root of 4 is 2. So what is the difference? Now whatever square root I calculate and what is the actual square root value, the difference between that can not be greater than this. That is what accuracy says. Now square root, I know that square root of 4 is 2. Now what can be the difference? The acceptable difference of the square root calculations will be 2.000001. So how many zeros you are adding here depending on that. Again, this can be changed. You all can make it 0.01, 0.001 depending on how much level of accuracy do you want. If you want more accuracy, then you have to take a smaller value here. And if you want less accuracy, that means even if you get a bigger difference, if it is okay, then you all can take a smaller value here. If you take a bigger number here, then in this while loop you will be having many iterations. If you're taking a smaller value here, you will have less number of iterations. So this is what you have to keep in mind. Now, what you all do is just write this part of the code in a piece of paper so that when we are doing the manual calculations, it will become easy for you. So you all can pause the video here, write down this, and then we can move ahead. Or when you will complete it, you can resume it. So let us look at how the calculations are being done. So the statement here says x is equal to n. So that is what we have written here. X is equal to n, and the n value we have assumed it to be 4. And then we already know that y value is equal to 1. That is what we have initialized it priorly. Now we are taking the difference between x and y. What is the and e value we already know is 0.50 followed by a 1. Now x value is 4, y value is 1. What is the difference between x and y? 4 minus 1. This value is 3, and obviously 3 is greater than e. E value is this. So that is what we are comparing here in the while loop. The condition is this. That is x minus y should be greater than e. Only if this condition is false, we are entering the loop here. So is this condition false here? Yes, the condition, is this condition true here? The condition is true. 4 minus 1 is 3, which is greater than 0.501. So this condition is true. So I enter the while loop and then do the calculations. What are the calculations? I am updating the value of x and I am updating the value of y. X we are making x plus y divided by 2, and y we are making n divided by x. So we'll do the calculations here. So x will be equal to x plus y divided by 2, that is x value is 4, y value is 1, we have substituted. So 5 divided by 2, the value is 2.5. So if you all see, the x value initially was 4, now it has become 2.5. It has got updated. So x will keep on decreasing. Let us look at y. Y will be what? N divided by x. What is n value? N value is 4, and x value, what we have got here updated value is 2.5. So 4 divided by 2.5 is 1.6. You can see that y value was 1 and now it has become 1.6. That means the difference between these two is decreasing. Now again I have to check the difference between these two. That is, again go back to the while condition. The while condition is what? X minus y should be greater than e. So come back here, check. X value is 2.5, y value is 1.6, the value is 0.9. Well, you can see that the difference has reduced. Here the difference was 3 and here the difference is 0.9. So is this greater than 0.501? Yes, the difference is bigger. So again resume the while loop, the for while loop. Here we are again making the changes to x and y. So the previous, the new updated value of x is 2.5, the new updated value of y is 1.6. So 2.5 plus 1.6 divided by 2, the new value will be 2.05. Now calculate y. Y is nothing but n divided by x. So n value is 4 and new updated x value is 2.05. When you divide it, the new value that you're getting is 1.95. Again check, go back to the while condition. So 2.05 minus 1.95, is it greater than 0.501? Yes. The new value is 0.1, that is the difference value is 0.1 and it is definitely greater than this value, that is e value. So again update the value of x. X will be 2.05 plus 1.95 divided by 2. So the value that you will get is 2 and then y will be equal to n divided by x. N value has not changed, it is still 4 and x value is got updated to 2. So the value that we are getting is also 2. So again go back to the while condition. What is n value now? N value here, x value now, x value is 2 and y value is also 2. So 2 minus 2 is 0. So this condition here becomes false. So we execute this loop till this condition becomes false. And now after how many iterations? Let us check how many iterations we have done. This was our first iteration. This is our second iteration and this is our third iteration. So after 3 iterations we have got the value equal to 0, which is less than 0.001. So the condition becomes false and when the condition becomes false, we come out of the while loop. Where is the closing of the while loop? This is the opening, this is the opening of the while loop. This is the closing of the while loop. So we return the value x. So what is the current value of x? The current value of x is 2. So that is what I have written here. So stop iterating and return x value, which is 2. So now when I return the value 2, where this return will go? Now when I am sending it, when I am writing it, I have written it as 2. But since it is a floating point value, the value returned will be 2.0000. So again this is a floating point value. So the value from here return will come here. So the value that you will get here is 2.0000, that is 5 zeros followed by 2 point. So that value will be replaced by this percentage f and this will be the end of the program. So this is how your square root calculation will be done without using the sqrt function of your math.h. So let us quickly look at the flowchart. So here if you all see, this is the start of the flowchart. We are reading the value n and we are calling the function square root. So if you all see here, there is no space anywhere. Please do not give space in the function names. It becomes invalid. It will give you a wrong result or it will give you an error. Sorry, it will give you an error. So once the function call is made, the again square root function will start executing. We are doing the initializing over here. We are executing the while loop till the condition becomes false. Once the condition becomes false, we are returning the value of x. And once I return the value of x, again it will come or resume the main and then it will print the square root. So let me quickly show you how the output will look like. The output will look like this. So first when you will execute the program, it will tell you to enter the value of n. When you enter the value of n, it will show you the square root of it. You just have to enter this number. Just this number. This is what the message will be given to you. So once this message is given, when you'll give the value and press enter, then you will get this output. So I hope this program is clear. If you'll have any doubts, please leave it in the comment section and I'll respond back, or else you all can also WhatsApp me. So thank you.